Good morning, traders. Welcome to the live trading room. I hope you are all doing well this morning. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's get started with the market analysis. Please note it is a public holiday in South Africa today. It is Women's Day, right? So we will still not have the LTA. Our senior technical trader, one of our senior technical traders, Sandile, is still in hospital, but I have been speaking to him. He is recovering well. So we are hoping to have him as soon as possible. Right, so today we will not have the LTA, we will only have the live trading room. Let's get started with the analysis. We'll start with the DXY. Just take all of this off here. Let's go to the US dollar pairs. Right, looking at Euro US dollar for our chart. So this is what we anticipated here initially before the NFP. We had forecasted that this move was going to be the three-wave structure. All right, so we have changed that view because that three waves did not happen there. We only got the one move here. So this looks like all the 5 waves here. So we're going to have all the 5 waves coming down here. The pullback will still come and we'll still get a move to the downside here before we bounce. But for now, we are still looking for this to continue pushing a little bit lower until we get that pullback. We'll check if we're going to have divergence here. Let's check if we've got divergence here on Euro US dollar. Okay, we're starting with the Euro US dollar first, then we'll go to the DXY. At this stage, there is no divergence between these moves here. So this is still showing continuation to the downside. We can see there's a bit of a pullback here. That is nothing, but so we still expect this to continue to the downside. So these 5 waves could even complete in the blue box. So we are going to watch this get to this level. If it gets to this level, that we're not necessarily going to have that 3-wave pullback first. And we can just have this as 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a 5. 1, 2, 3. My mouse is a bit skewed. Let's do this with a straight line. Let's get this off here. Let's get a bit more space there. Right, let's do this with a straight line. 1, running flat there. That's a running flat with 3 waves. That's a wave 2. This one becoming wave 3. This one becoming wave 4. This one becoming wave 5, and that will completing right into the blue box. Now, if you look at the internal structure of this, you'll see that we've got a running flat there as a wave 2 in the lower degree. Your wave 3 has got 3 waves here as follows, 5 waves rather. Let's project those 5 waves in wave 3. So you can see where that comes from, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So those are 5 waves there. Then we're looking at this one as an expanding flat, and this one to rally down into the blue box, to tank down into the blue box. So that is the expectation there with the Euro US dollar. So we're still going to be bearish up until around the blue box area. Let's see what happens when we get there. We have got a small pullback here, a slight pullback here on the 1 hour. This does not mean anything as yet. So we've got this as a 3 wave. So we're actually just looking at this as a 1 hour pullback, and this should continue to the downside. Let's have a look at the 1 hour. So the 1 hour, you can see that we've already resetted here. We are still below 50. So this can still do that. And then we'll look for this to come down. Okay, still bearish on Euro US dollar. The DXY is the inverse. So if you look at the DXY here, the chart on the DXY, let's have a look at that. So the DXY 1 hour chart showing us continuation to the upside. So we'll look for this one to continue to the upside to complete that structure. So then we would have had all of that move to the upside there. So we're still looking for continuation to the upside. Let's have a look at the DXY. So the DXY is still showing us continuation to the upside here on the 1 hour. Indicator is still showing us upside here. We are making this pullback 1 hour flag. So we'll expect the DXY to push a little bit higher. So we have already reset it, and the RSI is well above 50 on the 1 hour. So we should see continuation to the upside. Pound US dollar. So pound US dollar is still making this corrective structure. It's looking like this here. So yesterday we have indicated that we are looking for pound US dollar to give us a structure like this. Okay, so you can look at this in two ways. The most likely one, this one has got the right look than the other alternative, which I'll show you now. So we are looking at this one to be a move to the downside here. Now, just to show the internals of this structure, we've got 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 3 waves there, and we've got 1, 2, 3. This should be a 4, and we're looking for this one to make a 5 down to around these levels before any bounce to the upside. So pound US dollar should continue to the downside, making this A, B, C structure here. So around this level, that's where we're going to expect pound US dollar to make a move back to the upside. Okay, so that's what we're looking at on pound US dollar. So the US dollar is still looking strong this session as well. US dollar chief was the chart of the week, has reversed from the blue box. Simply look for continuation patterns around current levels. I prefer that you get 4-hour trade setups here for more upside. 1 hour is not safe. This is a big impulsive move. So you can get a 1-hour continuation pattern that can do this and start getting a correction here. So that's why we prefer that if it is a setup for continuation to the upside, it is at least a 4-hour setup. So a little bit of patience is required there. US dollar CAD. So we look at US dollar CAD should continue to the upside with the current US dollar strength to complete this structure here. We've got this as ABC. We are seeing a continuation pattern here on US dollar CAD. This should continue to push to the upside. So we'll look for this one to get around 26.20. That is where the equal legs for this and that is at. All right, so that is a US dollar CAD, Audi US dollar, right? Audi US dollar. So earlier on, we saw this pulsing move showing upside here, but this is going to give us a corrective structure for more downside here. Looks like we're going to get continuation to the downside here and we're not going to get a bounce. I was actually expecting even a bounce as follows. So if you look at this structure, it looks incomplete. The corrective structure, it looked incomplete in that we would have looked at this structure as follows. This one as a complex, let's start with this as a 3-wave structure to the upside, and this as a pullback in X as follows. So we can have this one as a W, X, and then a Y here, before it makes one more down and then upside. So let's see here, we are still seeing continuation to the downside, obviously because of the dollar strength. So we'll see a bit more downside there. Right, so that is Audi US dollar, New Zealand US dollar. Right, New Zealand US dollar. We expected New Zealand US dollar, as if you look at the chart on the website, we're expecting this one to start making a diagonal here to give us another leg higher like that. Okay, so it does not look like we're getting that. We're getting this one as a straight line, and we're still going to see continuation to the downside. So we're going to update that chart. So just make note of that. So we've got this one as an impulsive move here. 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like a 5, and if we're going to get a corrective structure here, we're still going to see more downside. So let's watch this below that level. Right, so that is a New Zealand US dollar ZAR. Continues to the upside. This is correlated to US dollar CAD. US dollar, there's US dollar strength, 1, 2, 3 here. Won't be a surprise to see this one push above around those levels. Okay, so we're still going to see more upside on US dollar ZAR. US dollar yen showing continuation to the upside again. In this morning, this session, we are going to see US dollar ZAR push to the upside. Okay, so we've got that continuation pattern. You saw why we're expecting this to make a move to the upside. You've seen the bigger structure yesterday and the last couple of days. So more upside on confirmation. This needs to close above the flag, and the stock and the RSI have already confirmed. As you can see, this is resetting here at the bottom. This is above 50. So a continuation pattern here, a candle close above the flag here is a trigger for more upside. That is US dollar yen. Right, then we've got pound yen. Pound yen, two things that can happen on pound yen. We can have this pushing up higher in a straight line like this, depending on confirmation. I'll check the indicator now. We can have it just continue to the upside like that, or we can have this making a move down, up, and giving us a clear flat, or you can actually call this a zigzag, because this looks like it's just about 90% before we push to the upside. That is on the 1 hour. So let's have a look at the 4 hour to see which one is going to be confirming here. So the 1 hour has reset at the bottom, but it's below 50. As much as it has reset, it is below 50. Let's look at the 4 hour and see what we're getting on pound yen. Right, so looking at pound yen 4 hour, you can see that there's a setup for downside here on the 4 hour. So pound yen, very likely that we're going to get this move down here. So this is not necessarily because of the yen in the pound, but because of the pound weakness. As we have seen, pound US dollar is also showing downside. So we are bearish this session on pound yen, even though US dollar yen is pushing to the upside. That is up completely normal. Okay, so that is pound and euro. So euro, we saw the euro pulling back up here with a corrective structure. That's why we expect the euro to still make a continuation to the downside. It is coming down pretty slow, so we could very likely get a bounce around this level before euro continues to the downside as follows. So it's coming down slowly. Okay, so we saw this one making a 3-wave corrective structure. We actually wanted this to push to the upside, but when we saw the 3-wave structure here, so we realized that that is not going to continue to the upside, and instead is going to give a continuation pattern for more downside. Pullback here means more downside. We can bounce around this level and continue to the downside here and get a bigger structure like this. That is the euro. Let's keep track of it. There is no trade set up on that. We're just tracking that corrective structure. It is sideways. Right, US dollar yen. US dollar yen has tagged this top here, making a regular flat. So we expect this to continue to the downside, at least back to 118. We should see chief yen moving down to around 118 area. This is where we expect chief yen to go to. Right, CAD yen. CAD yen, we are going to see a slight push to the upside here to complete these 3 waves. So we want to see it come to around this level first. Then we're going to have this as an A, B, C corrective structure. We're seeing continuation to the upside on the 1 hour, just like we saw on the on US dollar yen. This is the continuation pattern that we're seeing here on CAD yen. Not the cleanest one here, so we can even get this doing a structure like this. Then that will be a continuation pattern for more upside. But we are bullish as far as the indicator is concerned. New Zealand yen, let's go to the 4 hour. New Zealand yen, we have made a 3-wave structure. Has it completed? We're still going to see one more up here before coming down. It has made a clear 3-wave structure, but not at the blue boxes yet. We are seeing this just above 50 resetting here. So very likely we get one more up here before we come down. So that will be a 3-wave structure here. And then we make one more down here on the New Zealand. All right, so that is a New Zealand Aussie yen. Aussie yen, we also expected Aussie yen from the RBA announcement to rally back to around this level. We are not at that level as yet, so we need to track this here. Will it make a move to the other upside like this? Then it will be a decent corrective structure. If it does not rally there, then we'll be seeing a possible structure like this. A possible structure like this, but that is still a corrective structure. It's just the path that it will be taking. So this is where we are. We look for this one to give us confirmation here with the indicator. This is resetted, but this is starting to drop below 50. For us to get confirmation, this is when the 1 hour candle closes above this. If it doesn't, then that means we are going to see downside. Gold. Gold has dropped with quite a flash last week. But you will see that even with that flash, structural levels are still respected. Exactly where we wanted it to take, it has tagged. So we've got a move to the upside. We had a move to three-way move around this level. We had a pulsing move downside here. Looks like we're going to see another move here on gold. We're going to see gold make a structure like this. We're already starting to bounce here with this move here. Let's see here if this move is going to be sustained. We're going to check the indicator here now. So that will be an ABC corrective structure for more downside. But now we've got a bit of a pullback here. Let's have a look at the indicators on that. So the RSI is right at the bottom, the stock RSI is right at the bottom, RSI right at the bottom, but we've already made a pulsing move here. We're currently here. I'm going to show this on the 1 hour. We are around this level. We want to see if that move is going to be sustained to the upside. Let's look at the 1 hour. So the 1 hour, we've already made this pulsing move here. Will it be sustained? Even the 1 hour is still pretty bearish. So we cannot confirm that we're going to get that move all the way back to that. Let's show the level again that we showed on the 4 hour. The 1 hour is also still below 50. So we cannot confirm that this is a simple three-wave structure that will bounce back to the 1900s. So for all we know here, with the structure and the indicator, what we're seeing from the indicator is that gold may not even give us a corrective structure for continuation to the upside, but will instead just show this as a pullback and continue to the downside. That is what we're seeing on the indicator. Okay, so we're not necessarily going to see upside, but let's wait for this setup here, the 1 hour setup around that level. Silver did the same thing, flashed to the downside. Let's have a look at silver. Let's look at the daily here. The structure we showed on silver is this one here, that we've got the diagonal there. We've got the 3 waves there. So if that is the structure, we've got this one down here. So we wanted this one to push slightly lower here to come take the load, doesn't really matter. And for this one to come up here, then we'll have this structure on silver. That is the daily on silver. So we can see a slight pullback here, but again, just like gold, we want to see if that move, that pullback that we're currently seeing to the upside is going to be sustainable to confirm the structure that we are forecasting. Let's look at the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, we flashed down to 22.30. We are currently back around 23 here. Let's look at that on the 1 hour. So as far as the 4 hour is concerned, everything is right at the bottom. So bearish. So we've made a pullback here. Even the 1 hour will still be bearish, just like gold. Let's have a look. So the 1 hour, we want to see this confirmation here. If we get a flag here and continuation to the upside, then that structure that we're forecasting will be confirmed. But if we don't get a 1 hour candle closing above the upper boundary of this flag, we may just see this one continue to the downside. Look at this, the 1 hour is still pretty bearish. So even if we've got this, there's nothing that stops this from just continuing to the downside. So let's keep an eye on silver and gold for those moves. So we want to see these continuation patterns at current levels. Platinum, hardly a bounce on the platinum in the lower degree. We've just seen a continuation pattern to the downside. So platinum should continue to the downside. You can see here, we are still bearish and it is still looking more downside. Oil continues to the downside 4 hour. We want to see oil retest this level here. We've got 3 waves down. We've got to move up here in 3, 1, 2, 3. We could have our blue box area around here on oil. So let's see oil at about 64. Let's look at the pound pesa. If you look at the pound pesa, there is a potential trade set up here on pound CAD. Here is if you get a 1 hour, rather a 4 hour candle closing below the flag here, we should see a trade set up for downside here. So we'll look for an entry around these levels. Stop just above there. and look for this to come to the downside. So we're just waiting for that 1 hour candle to confirm, then we'll pull the trigger below the flag. So let's wait for this 4 hour candle to close below the lower boundary of the flag. If it does not, we don't take the trade. Also, we need to check the daily on this. If the daily is not below 50, we don't take the trade either. So the daily, with this, we can find it trading lower when the candle closes below the flag. Pound Audi. Let's look at the 4 hour. Before that, let's look at the daily. So the daily on Pound Audi is looking very strong. The RSI on the daily is well above 50. We have been looking for Pound Audi to give us at least a 3-wave push to the downside with the RBA announcement last week. But if you look at this, this is very strong. The RSI is looking very strong. So Pound Audi should continue to the upside. So let's have a look here on the 4 hour. So we were expecting that Pound Audi will give us this 3-wave corrective structure. 1, 2, 3, make a move to the downside at least. We may not even get this one downside here, and Pound Audi could be complete with this structure. Okay, so let's see any setup here, whether it's a 1 hour, we'll look to take it. Okay, so on the 4 hour, we are right at the top, but we are breaking above 50 here. So we may see this one push to the upside, or we get a flat correction. A flat correction would be an even better structure for more upside. Looking very strong on the daily, Pound Audi. So there doesn't seem to be the reversal coming soon. New Zealand. New Zealand on the 4 hour. This will need to be confirmed by a candle closing below the flag here. So we'll look for a similar structure as what we had on Pound Cat. If it drops below here, we'll see this come to this level at least. Pound Chief. Pound Chief is still making that 3-wave structure. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we want to see that one push to the upside before coming down. So we are at the top here, but we are well above 50, so we're still bearish. So we want to see if there's going to be any divergence in the lower degrees. Let's check the lower degree, the 1 hour, if we've got divergence there. We've got some divergence on the 1 hour. This is a move to the upside. This is showing divergence here. So this can start pushing to the downside. Euro Pound starting to bounce. Let's show the daily, why we're expecting a bounce here on Euro Pound. Euro Pound, very likely that we start getting a bounce there. Let's draw it cleanly. We've got 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down. Now we're expecting a bounce. We started with this here, and here we've got 3 waves here. 1, 2, 3. Here we've got 3 waves as well. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're expecting Euro Pound to start making a bounce around these levels. Euro New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand, we are still sideways at this level. We're expecting this to make slight continuation to the downside. This could be a continuation pattern here. This is the daily, but in the lower time frame, we may still get to about 166. We'll go down to the lower time frame first. Let's go down there. Still pretty bearish in the lower time frame. So we'll look for this. Even if we do get here, we can get a bounce here for a continuation to the downside. Still pretty bearish. We are at the top already here. Right, that is Euro Audi, Euro New Zealand. Let's have a look at Euro Audi. So Euro Audi, we focused the reversal from right at the top. Looking at Pound Audi now, Euro Audi may start a move to the upside, and that would have made this expanding flat, or rather a running flat, as follows. And then we start seeing more upside. Let's watch this. So we've got what looks like a move to the upside. If we get even a 1 hour setup here, we'll look to take it. Let's go to the daily like we did with the Pound Audi. Let's check the daily chart. If you look at the daily chart on this, looking very strong, well above 50, resetting here at the bottom. Very likely that this structure will play out, and we're going to see new highs at this level. EuroCAD, we had this structure last week playing out to this level, making an expanding flat. Now we're dropping like that. So we'll expect EuroCAD to make a continuation to the downside. From here, I expect continuation to the downside. Let's look at the 4-hour. We are making a continuation pattern here. On the 4-hour, we'll look for this one to continue lower. We're simply making this structure here. That is EuroCAD, EuroChief. EuroChief is making a bounce for a change. Whichever structure we're going to get here on EuroChief, whether we make a deeper corrective structure to the upside, eventually we are going to get a sell setup here. We'll look to sell it. Because long term, on the monthly chart, we are bearish. So any pullback is just a continuation pattern. Out in New Zealand, this is still bearish. Nothing has changed. So from here, here, we have been saying continuation to the downside. Still expect continuation to the downside. Audi CAD. So it looks like the Audi strength that we saw last week is over. This came as a result of the RPA announcement, but we are now seeing a pullback. This is a pulse move to the downside, so we should see this continue to the downside. Audi Chief. This is a continuation pattern for more downside as well. With the Audi looking weak, we are going to see this one continue to the downside. A similar structure to this, similar structure to that. So we're going to see Audi Chief continue lower. You can even make a alert here for when this breaks lower here, when the 4-hour candle starts to trade below that, then that will be a trade to the downside. New Zealand CAD also made an impulsive move, 1, 2, 3. Could this be a 4 and a 5? Let's see here. We need to see this candle close above the flag. New Zealand Chief. New Zealand Chief, 1, 2, 3, and continuation to the downside. CAD Chief, we had a blue box here at the bottom. Last week, trade setup, blue box trade setup. We focused it here. We are now currently here, expected to continue up higher. Those are the Forex pairs, the indices. Nothing has changed from yesterday. Just look for continuation patterns to the upside. I'm not even going to go through this, so nothing has changed as yet. 4-hour, you can see the Dow Jones is pushing up higher as expected. The NASDAQ, even if the NASDAQ can give us a structure like this, it will still be good for continuation to the upside. We are bullish on the indices. UK 100, will we eventually get a corrective structure? So this has been a motive wave since the bottom here. So we can start getting a corrective structure here on the UK 100. Expect a pullback there. DAX, this is a continuation pattern. Although no trade setup on the 4-hour, you can get a trade setup here on the 1-hour. Let's have a look at the 1-hour. Showing continuation to the upside. So the 1-hour is starting to set up with this structure. A candle close above that. This one staying above 50. This one resetting at the bottom. We should see continuation to the upside on the DAX. Nikkei. Nikkei still going sideways. Looks like it's going to make this corrective structure here. 1, 2, 3. We still want to see one more down. Even if we push slightly higher, we want to see one more down before we push up higher on the Nikkei. Right, the Nifty has rallied after the regular flat, now starting to make another pullback. Still bullish. That can just be, as you can see that this one is still above 50, we've reset it, we'll expect this to continue to the upside. Let's go to the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin has reached 45,000 yesterday. We still expect more upside in the lower time frame. This is a three-wave pullback. You can see here, so what we can have here is, if this is showing continuation to the downside, we can have this as a 1, 2, 3, and we see continuation to the upside. If you look at the indicator here, we are still trading just at 50%, but we are looking upside. If they get a candle closing above the flag, even from current levels, we can still see Bitcoin retest 45,000 again, and even 46,000. So let's have a look at this on the 4-hour. So the 4-hour, we even have a 4-hour setup on Bitcoin. So this is looking likely like a continuation to the upside. We're going to see more upside here. Expect more upside. Ethereum, also a 4-hour setup, provided we get a 4-hour candle closing above the upper boundary of the flag. That will confirm that we're going to see the previous high here, previous recent high at 3183, and even 34,000. So continuation to the upside. We're still bullish on the cryptocurrencies. Just looking at this, you can see Litecoin is even looking stronger. The structure is looking better than the others. We are looking for this to make one more up, back to 160 on Litecoin. XRP, already confirming upside here as far as the 4-hour is concerned. You can see the 4-hour candle has already closed above the flag, so we are going to see more upside. We've reset it. We're seeing more upside on XRP. Dogecoin as well, we've got a pullback, but that is that's all that it is. It's a pullback, and we're going to expect this to continue to the upside. We're at the bottom, well above 50, so expect Dogecoin to retest the 28 level that it had reached last time, and even higher. ADA, same. You can see all cryptocurrencies have got 4-hour setups. We're looking for continuation to the upside this session as well. That is ADA. Let's look at Bitcoin Cash. All the same, continuation to the upside. We're going to see upside here. We're going to see upside on Bitcoin Cash. Satoshi version. Let's look at Bitcoin Satoshi version. All looking the same. We're going to see upside. Lastly, let's look at Link. Link even better. We've got a regular flat. Now we're expecting upside. We are at the bottom. We're slightly below 50, but because of the rest of the coins, we'll expect this to follow suit as well. And that's all for today, guys. Please note, we do not have LTA today, public holiday in South Africa today, and we have still got our senior technical trader in hospital, but as I said, recovering well. Okay, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good trading day and enjoy your holiday to the South Africans. Cheers. Bye-bye. Thank you, William. Have a good day.